Hmm. Hey friend, here we are again for a sequel, follow up to the last episode where I was sharing with you one of the first big divine assignments that I have received from the goddess to serve my purpose here. And it was my first lead of Kundalini Activation facilitator training. So I told you a little bit about this first experience and how it came through, and I want to touch base here on divine assignments and what it means really when the goddess, universe, source, life, your higher self is leading you to a certain mission in your life. It can be a spontaneous one, it can be a whole purpose mission that will last your entire life, but we always receive these invitations to serve in a certain way. Serve the world, serve a sacred land, serve a community, serve a person or a group of people. But once we open to divine service and actually helping the world with our unique frequency, whatever that is, we will be receiving more and more of these assignments. And there's so much beauty in it. So, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about how it felt like in my case with these missions. And yeah, let's see how we flow here and where it takes us. So why was I ever given this assignment to lead a training? Well, at the time that it started, I could have no idea, of course, of where it would lead me today. And today I have no idea where it will actually lead me soon, because right now there has been, again, another expansion with this work, with this transmission of life force activation. And it's always upgrading, always evolving into new ways. So I want to share about why it was required for me, from me, and for me, that this happened a few years ago. Why this work is required, the Kundalini activation process, the life force transmission, what this path is really about. And what is life force activation? So there's actually an entire video of what it is and what is this transmission on my YouTube channel that you can check. It's called, I think, Kundalini Activation Introduction or something like that. It's the preparation that I give to people that come to receive a session. So it's all about what is life force activation, what is this process, and what to expect through it. So to go in detail about that, I allow you to go and check this out. But for now here, I just want to talk a little bit about what this process is really doing, because we see a lot of the reactions that this transmission has on the body of people. So we see the movements online, we hear the feedbacks of people talking about releasing so much, liberating so many old things, feeling a certain healing, feeling their hearts opening greatly. Some of them are having very deep astral journeys that they compare to plant medicine ceremonies. There's, of course, this full opening of the divine energy within, that is the feminine flow through the body. So there's like this freedom in the body that people can experience, where they feel more connected to themselves, more connected to their intuition. They also feel more certain about who they are and what they are meant to share here. They apologize less about who they are, and they have an ease with saying what they really mean and what they really feel. So we can see that there's overall a reconnection to who we really are at a divine level, reconnecting with extra sensorial senses. It's like accessing new senses. That's something I always share because that's so true. All of a sudden our perception is just expanding so much, where we can subtly perceive and process and welcome life in new ways. So it's like accessing new senses, truly. because our intuition gets heightened so much more. Sometimes we have access to telepathic, and more actually, the deeper we go with this process, the more we're going to be telepathic and actually come into the instantaneity of the 5-dimensional world. So that's a big part of it. When I say reconnecting to who we are at a divine level, it's actually really activating this light body, which allows us to perceive more of the subtle layers of reality. So going beyond the 3D, yet through the physical and the three-dimensional body, perceiving all the subtlety on 4, 5D and more. And of course, it's accessing this extra capacity to see life, hear life, feel life, and accessing a higher intuition, because we are more connected. I always say life forces are bridge to all that is sacred. And to me, this is it. It's like it's connecting us with all the higher realms, everything that is about our soul that is not physical. So it's reconnecting and building this bridge between all the pieces of who we are in all levels of reality, dimensions, past, future, present, but also on a vertical level to all the layers and dimensional realms. So I see here a very deep reconnection to all that is, to the formless with the form, because of course, as you probably know, this process of life force activation, we are experiencing it through the body. So this is really the opportunity here, the remembrance of all these parts of who we are, of all the magic that we really are beyond the 3D. And when I say magic, I'm talking about the fifth dimension, where we reconnect with the dimension of magic, where things are more in the instantaneity. And that's why I'm talking about telepathy. And we can even talk here about manifestation, because all of this are taking a whole new meaning when you're embodied in your true life force, pure pranic frequency of the divine. Your essence is fully awakened inside of you. It doesn't only liberates you from old trauma, old lineage imprints that were limiting you, old limiting beliefs, old limiting behaviors or emotions. Yes, it really heals all of these past densities that were keeping you stuck in a certain way or a certain limited reality and limited creation power. Indeed, it heals all of that. It allows you to let go of illusions, to reconnect with the divine self, to open to magic, and so to re-become the creator here and now in its full power. What does that mean? It means accessing the instantaneity of life. So whatever we would call before the law of attraction or manifestation is now completely irrelevant, because when you are embodied in this divine energy, feeling the connection of all, and of course open to this receptivity of receiving the divine guidance, inspiration, understanding what is happening around you, or this understanding the subtlety in every layer of interaction you have with yourself, with others, with your work, and you're acting in this beautiful surrender as a living experience, what happens is divine alignment. And that's the new word that I now use for manifesting, because you're not manifesting anymore. You're just, whatever you feel like you want to manifest is probably already on your way or already manifested in a way. And so the moment you think about it or you call it in, it's actually already happening. So there is this divine alignment, which is from the instantaneity of living in the fifth dimension here and now, right? It's not some place to go. It's right here, right now on this plane of existence. It's just while we are being here on the physical, we're accessing a higher dimension on this same plane. This dimension of 5D is not only the instantaneity. Well, actually, let's actually dive deeper into that. If it's instantaneous, it means that everything is connected, that there is less separation, meaning there is less time we need to use to go from point A to point B. that distance between one thing and the other is usually the 3D world, the time that we need as a human to manifest with effort, a distance to go. So when you come into the instantaneous 5D, there is less distance, there is more here and now, everything is just together. You don't even know if you want something or if that thing already was here. So that is a part of unity consciousness. Everything is finally connected again because we allow ourselves to perceive it and we finally embody that connection, that unity consciousness. And so on a humanity level, this is a big part of what is happening in our world. It's the great awakening and the shift from the lower self to the higher self, from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, the separated earth and way of living here as humans to the new earth, which is based on unity and togetherness. So it's all about living together and creating new ways of life and new ways of abundance. Because once we are coming back into this state of oneness in ourselves, feeling it and living it in our life, and allowing this reality to unfold in this new way, then we can also meet each other in that state, in that space. And together, this is where we start creating new ways of living together, and we start accessing new ways of abundance. I'm not talking just about money, I'm talking about everything on this world. To me, and circling back, I was just talking about what this process is doing. It's liberating a lot, it's healing a lot, but it's awakening all the deep wisdom of your soul that you have gained for so many lifetimes and that you are now ready to embody again. And as we all awaken to this ancient future wisdom, we are actually accessing again this unity consciousness, but in an embodied way. And that's what this transmission is about. It's about embodying the divinity again in an absolute natural way from our energy, nothing else, not a technique, not a protocol, not a plant, not a drug, nothing else than your pure energy and your heart fully opening. Your divine surrender is empowering you. And so, to me, this transmission, life force activation, especially the Heka, that was my personal blueprint to birth in this world, is a pivotal, or if not the biggest catalyst that, at least in my world, in my little reality, it is the biggest catalyst that I see for our great awakening. And all the light workers out there are supporting this journey, supporting this frequency through the transmission I'm talking about, to expand and to keep upgrading in the highest way. This is something that I really see, that even the light workers that are not working with this process are actually supporting and feeding this kind of beautiful consciousness of light so that it can expand. And then through this transmission, Heka activation, wow, there's so much to say all at once. But yeah, through this transmission, we can access this truth and the pure frequency of light and unity consciousness that actually we need to live in the new earth, in the new world, and to reconnect with our full power, become sovereign again, and create more magic, create this new paradigm that we've all been talking about, feeling, meeting more and more in ourselves and in our realities, right? The magic, the miracles, synchronicities, all this stuff has been happening more and more for all of us. So it's a big part of that. And circling back to the beginning, why I'm sharing all of this is to really allow all of us to understand and try to grasp what divine assignment really means. For me, when the goddess, the universe, when the goddess invites me to open a space, whether it's a transmission of Heka activation, whether it's a training to help people harness this magic and become facilitators so that they can open this transmission to more people, I know what this is about. This is the most important service that I have been given and that I have seen to help the world open up and expand into this new awareness and this new consciousness, into the purest and highest devotion of light. And so that is what I mean when I talk about divine assignment. It's we have this beautiful mission, this beautiful responsibility to carry a new technology. In this case, it's a new technology that help people open up to the truth of who they really are and empower themselves to shine, beam this frequency and help more and more people. And then it's this beautiful exponentiality that we've all been witnessing and participating in for years now, this great awakening where we are more and more people remembering all of this and actually harnessing it. So my divine assignment was to open the trainings, and through the trainings, because the frequency is always upgrading, and of course I'm always receiving more and more guidances in my own personal journey in this empowered leadership. I was guided to Egypt. I was guided to different sacred places and different sacred moments with amazing souls that taught me so much. My students and friends and all the souls that I was meeting on the road taught me so much about it too. But truly, I was guided to birth this very unique, refined design of the transmission that we know as Kundalini activation, that I was guided to birth as Heka. And Heka is a very ancient Egyptian word that designates the pure force with a big F, pure force of the divine. It's the force of the gods, the force of creation. It's pure life force energy in its most creative, original power. And it's all that is. And this word came to me when I was meditating on the Nile in Egypt a year ago, before I was leading a training there and a pilgrimage for 10 days. So it was a Kundalini facilitator training and a high priestess activation. And the word Heka came. And through it, I allowed it. I, of course, as usual, surrender. And as I was surrendering to it, I discovered over the months and now a year that it was a refined transmission of what I knew as Kundalini activation. And it was a direct cosmic technology from the lineage of Isis, ancient Egypt. And that is in the service of the pure highest light, divine truth. So owning it and allowing it more and more, I really saw how refined and integrated this transmission is. That's why I call it Heka and no longer just Kundalini activation, because we're working with the force that is so ancient and I'm still trying to figure it out, and all the pieces are coming moment after moment, and we'll always discover more of it. It's an infinite well of wisdom and magic to open up and to allow in. But yeah, this Heka activation is a very unique blueprint of my own soul, of probably many others that already felt it and felt the resonance, contacted me, maybe worked with me, and many more to come. But it's bringing in very pure light. That's what people say when they experience it. It's like, wow, that was the purest light ever. I have no words to explain it, they say, but that's just how it felt. And so very often it connects to angelic realms also, and of course, ancient Egyptian magic. And in all of this, I need to also remind all of us that when we are saying yes to these assignments, because there is something here that we need to carry for the world, it is not, for example, here, it's not me. It's not Sophie who is doing all of this and planning all of this and then creating these transformations, right? I'm not activating people. I'm not, I was gonna say, I'm not initiating people. On a physical level, I am, right? My body and my mind and my heart are moving along in the space and creating this training and creating this transmission. And then my presence allows something. So on a physical, if you look it from outside, I am. But in the truth, it's not me, my little self, my ego. It's the frequency, it's the life force of life. It's my destiny that is taking over. It's my soul medicine that is expressing, and it's my surrender that allows the higher consciousness that is way beyond what I can understand to come through. So I am simply the vessel to any initiation that I open. And it is my surrender that allows it. So it's not me doing it, but it is my surrender that allows it. That's why it's so important to understand how surrender is actually such an empowering thing. Maybe surrender could be understood as something like, okay, you're just passive, you're just like doing nothing. It's not that. Surrendering takes a lot because you have to give up, give in your identity, your whatever you think you are. You have to let yourself, the little self, dissolve so you can be infused and embedded and breathed by pure consciousness, pure light. In my case, it is a direct work with Sophia, the Christ consciousness. She is the feminine part of Christ consciousness. And it's the same lineage with Isis and this Heka activation. It's the technology of the Divine Mother, the Divine Wisdom. And in my case, I was meant to surrender so deeply to my path and my remembrance as a priestess, and in journeying through Egypt and the south of France, and all this reconnection with Isis, Mary Magdalene, which I will share more in another episode. But in my case, I was meant indeed to surrender so deeply to that the Sophia Christ could come through and show me the way. I did not decide any of it. I was shown the way, and I keep being shown the way. And so the unicity is coming from the medicine of my soul, which is in absolute service of the Divine Mother. And that is the service, that is the assignment. The assignment is you saying yes to the absolute mystery here on earth and in this life. It's you allowing yourself to surrender the human, surrender the personality, surrender what you think you should be controlling or you should be doing, surrender all of these type of thoughts so you can be led and divinely guided and used as a vessel for this unique transmission. And this is how these immense, beautiful portals are possible to open. As facilitator, this is what we have to do. We fully surrender. The portal is opening, and this allows people to remember, to access their power, to heal whatever is needed, and to fully embody their divine true self. So, wow. I'm checking my notes. Yeah, through trainings, what I've seen people becoming is empowered leaders. I was sharing a little bit before about the transmission and how this Heka activation portal is opening these doors of sacredness inside of us, and how it's helping us embodying what feels like freedom and infinite creation and limitlessness and purity and truth. But for people joining the trainings initiation, this is a step beyond. I've seen all of my students or initiates, they have become really empowered in their own divine leadership, in their own purpose, and their own divine assignments. So this mission that they have come here to fulfill, Heka Activation is a part of it, because when people feel called to come to me and to receive this initiation, of course, it is not random. It's very profound. It's super mysterious. And what happens then is something that I still cannot explain. It really is magic that in just a few days, there is this higher consciousness through the transmission, as I shared, this Sophia, Christ, Isis, and many more beings. But the consciousness of the portal itself is coming through in a whole new way and guiding me as the space holder and the initiator, and all the people as the initiate and the new facilitators, all guiding us in a beautiful dance where these people, they leave feeling so certain about their path and their role as a facilitator, like they have reclaimed their spiritual essence and basically reconnecting with what they were always, what they have always been, always are, and always will be. And so it's like recollecting all of the pieces of their soul magic and soul medicine, and feeling how they embody this frequency, because during the training there's a lot of energy that is coming through for them to fully embody it. And from that space, they are holding themselves in a new role now, in a service role where they are empowered, surrendered, and free to create more and more spaces for other people. So, yeah, to me, this is, at least in my life, one of the greatest missions that I was ever given to fulfill and to birth, to help people remember who they are at a core level and reclaim their full power to help other people, while being in absolute reverence of the divine mother, the goddess, and the highest light. So this is why I always say yes to the missions, because the ripples of that yes are beyond what we can understand. When 10 people in my training, for example, are becoming sovereign again in this way, they go back into their countries, into wherever they are living, and they're opening portals for 10 people, 50 people. And the exponentiality of broadcasting, basically, it's a broadcast of the highest light that we are, is becoming so exponential. The ripple is beyond what we can even understand. So yeah, it's pure magic in the making, and it's an honor when we receive, you know, when you have an idea to create something, when you feel called to do something, even if it's a little bit insane or uncomfortable or new, understand that it's not, of course, there's a big part that is about you becoming your true full self and expressing yourself in the world, and that's beautiful and magic. And the soul medicine that is coming through and unique is very fulfilling for you. But it's way beyond that. It's about everyone else that you're supposed to actually inspire with this energy inside of you, and with the creation, whatever the creation is, whatever the idea is. It's about the message. It's about the ripple of that in the world. So that's why, to me, it's a sacred service we have, almost we have to say yes to, because it's not about us anymore. It's about allowing it to serve the world. And trust me, the feeling of that is beyond. And then, of course, the coming together, because yeah, when you start helping people and supporting people in their own journeys, the connections and the bonds and the family like that is being created, again, it's opening new doors, because all of a sudden you're right there together, amplifying each other and co-creating together. And so more spaces, more ideas, more missions can come through, and it's bigger than ever. And that's also why I wrote the book. The book was a divine assignment. 1.5 years later, like I said on the first training, I had to write this book in 1 week. So I went really fast. I used the chat to help me out. And wow, 200 and something pages were written, and I could have the book from my first initiates. But I had no idea that this book would ever be published to the public and to everyone at the time. And so throughout the years and all the trainings that I was called to facilitate, and all the upgrades that I was receiving, that the frequency was receiving, and that all the people were embodying more and more, after I received the name of Heka, this is where the book came through. Heka was in April 2024, no, 3, I don't remember. Anyway, just a few months after Heka, I was back in my parents for a few weeks, so in the south of France, and craziest idea, I don't know how it came through, honestly, because what I wrote in this book is for facilitators of this frequency, and especially Heka, but of course, life force, Kundalini, whatever we call it. So it was really deep, deep wisdom, knowledge, experience from my path that is meant for facilitators. And I don't know what happened, but I received this undeniable idea of publishing it. I need to publish it now. And it was quite challenging and daunting because, well, okay, sure, why not? Of course, that's always my answer. So, okay, let's go for it. And I started to listen to the book, and just like any space I opened, but this time it was even more personified. The book has its way. It knows where it wants to go. It knows how it wants to be called. And I'm just midwifing it, basically. So this I understand very rapidly. When I was connecting in meditation with the frequency, the vibration, original idea of the book, the title came. I had another idea for the title. I wanted to, because it was for facilitators and for people to understand their life force energy, I wanted them to understand that they are the portal. We are the portal. So I wanted to call it You Are the Portal. But they wouldn't let me. I really felt this energy is very high light that You Are the Portal was just not right. And there was one title that kept coming through. You Are the Miracle. And even though I thought, oh my God, on a marketing level, so the mind, look at that. The humans, like, on a marketing level, that's not going to make sense to people. You are the miracle. I'm talking about Kundalini activation, being a facilitator. I mean, I know that we are the miracle, and this transmission of life force activation allows us to remember that and re-embody this. But still, it's not really selling, right? But I didn't care. Of course, these little things or thoughts or like, worries in the human mind were so little compared to the drive and the big energy that was driving my heart here. So I followed the guidance and I called it You Are the Miracle. And I took my time. I wanted to do it right. So I was walking every day in France and for an hour in nature. And every day the whole book would come. So I was writing notes every day for an hour in my walk. Not very convenient, but it was happening. And the book would come every day like this. And so then I spent 4 months, 4 months to write every day for many, many hours. And so I rewrite it completely myself. And it was a full channeling, of course. It was something different than the first one. This time it was not just giving informations, theoretical informations to people or to facilitators. This time it was actually about bringing through a book and a few words a very, very specific energy and frequency. And so this book now holds a very unique vibration. And I've received so many feedbacks and messages about it, that when people receive it, they feel something. When they just keep it by their bed, they feel that it has a field and it's doing something in their space. I've received so many people also texting me about how by simply reading the pages, they were fully activating their Kundalini and life force energy. So this book is beyond myself. As you can imagine, I had not planned to create an activation book that just by reading it would be a transmission of its own of energy and divine frequencies. But all these little pieces, I was given the assignment to write the book for the public and then to rewrite it fully myself. And then as I was listening every day, walking in nature, I was receiving the book itself. So I would just simply note it. And then, of course, it took a lot of effort from me and a lot of presence and deep motivation and not losing my way for several months so I could birth it, because now it's 420 pages. So it took a lot out of me to actually show up and commit in devotion to that frequency. So midwifing it with a lot of power. And nowhere in this did I intend to create a transmission book or this activation, yet it was already happening in the field. That was the assignment. I needed to birth this vibration and this specific frequency transmission book. And now it has its own life, and I actually have it here. Yeah, that was honestly one of the most beautiful missions that so far I was given to do. Definitely not something that I could have planned, but probably a little dream of mine over the years when I was reading so many wisdom throughout books and receiving so many wisdom from other authors or people who had lived several mystical experiences, and I was always so inspired by those readings. So probably a little dream inside of me that one day I would myself write a book, and it happened. And I'm very, very, very proud, very happy, very grateful, and feeling blessed and honored that I could serve in this way. And now there's a trace, there's like a physical embodiment of the miracle frequency, because this is what it is about. And of course, there's a lot of theory about Heka activation and higher realms and how to facilitate and embody the frequency of pure life force and highest light, and also integrating the profound awakenings and the spiritual expansion of our consciousness, because this can take a while and a lot of presence and patience. So yeah, there's a lot of that in this book, and I'm super happy to now just watch it unfold its natural life and see where it goes, where it lands. So yeah, I think we're slowly arriving to the completion of this episode. I hope you understand more now how this divine assignment work. We don't know beforehand what they are meant to create, where they are meant to go, and how they are meant to evolve. But if there's one thing that this working with the transmission of Heka has taught me, is that it's always upgrading. The more we are coming in our true self, the more our consciousness is expanding, the more our nervous system is expanding to hold this light and to have more capacity for it, for understanding more of the complex and interdimensional reality. The more energy is going to come through, the more light codes and new technologies are going to come through for us to embody and broadcast, transmit. So over the last 2 years, there were many, many more trainings that I had the pleasure and the honor to give. Many more people I had the pleasure to initiate into Heka facilitation. And lately, we are beginning January 2025. There has been a new technology coming through. It's Heka Activation, and it's a new way of transmitting it. So it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to tell you more about it. But truly, truly trust your path and every inspiration, idea of project or things that you receive that you should be doing or should be starting, because they hold so much wisdom, so much power, so much beauty for you and for the entire world. And again, it is really beautiful to receive, and like an honor to receive these assignments and these missions to complete and to help ourselves and other people, and participate in this collective ascension, because this is what we're doing. So on the final world on the final world, for the last word, you are definitely the miracle. You are the portal of ascension. Every spaces that you open with this awareness is a portal of ascension in itself for the people coming into this space. So know this and be you. Be exactly who you are. Your soul medicine is unique and needed. I love you. I'm sending you a lot of light from Uluwatu, Bali, and seeing you on the next one.